A 5-year-old boy pulled from the water thanks to strangers at the beach. How they managed to get him out. 5 Eyewitness News at 10 starts right now.
As soon as she came out, running out screaming, everybody took off running flight in there.
A call for a missing boy turns into a daring rescue. What it took for strangers to get a 5-year-old out of this lake. Then, the measles outbreak contained. How the Minnesota Department of Health says it put a stop to the spread.
After a picture-perfect Saturday, we have storms possible on Sunday afternoon. Some of those could be on the strong to severe side. Details coming up.
But first, and developing right now, a little boy pulled from the water unresponsive. It happened just before 5 o'clock at Carver Lake Park in Woodbury. And our Kirsten Swanson is live for us in the newsroom tonight. Kirsten, this was really a massive rescue effort.
It was, Matt. Woodbury police tell me they had to recruit almost 50 people who were at the beach to make a large human chain to search the water for that 5-year-old boy.
This all started around 4:30 when Woodbury police say they got a 911 call from Carver Lake Park. The caller explained a boy was missing near the beach, and when officers arrived, they helped coordinate a search of the water. Witnesses say after about 5 minutes, the child was found near a buoy that ropes off the lake's swimming area. Police estimate it's about 25 to 30 feet from the shore. It's not clear how long he'd been under the water. I spoke to a man who helped in that effort to rescue him.
We were out here playing volleyball, and a lady came up, said there was a 5-year-old missing in the water somewhere, so we all just rushed, formed a chain in there. We had a chain 2 times and went all the way back to the buoys. Couldn't find them the first time. Started from the front again and worked all the way back. A guy found them, brought them up, passed them to another guy, and my brother over here carried them all the way back into the water. And he was trying to be resuscitated right here.
He says it was traumatic to see the boy pulled to the beach. He sat and watched the child's family hug each other and cry as paramedics performed CPR.
His eyes was behind the back of his head, and when we got him out, as soon as we got him out to the beach, he was throwing up on my brother, on his back and stuff. Red throw up was coming out, so we were hoping that he was still breathing.
Woodbury police say the child was taken to Regions Hospital. We just checked in with the police in the last 20 minutes. They tell us he's still in critical condition at this hour. Live in the newsroom, Kirsten Swanson, 5 Eyewitness News.
Quite the effort to...
Bystanders shocked as police do nothing while 5-year-old boy drowns. By Claire Burnish, July 11, 2017. St. Paul Park, Minnesota. They all just stood and watched, lamented Patrick Hedekan, 28, after a harrowing incident in which he and friends, bystanders, desperately dove deep into a lake to locate and save a drowning child while police and first responders looked on without assisting. Submerged in the waters of Minnesota's Carver Lake too long, the 5-year-old boy, later identified as Kendrick Jordan, Jr., did not survive. Witnesses, ordinary civilians, tried to save the small child's life without any help from police or EMTs. Hedekan and a few friends were playing volleyball on the sandy shores on Saturday, when word traveled among beachgoers a child had gone missing, so they scoured the shoreline, hawkish for the vanished youth. With the initial, brief search fruitless, Hedekan and the others rushed into the water, swimming out from shore, and diving repeatedly, frantic to find the small child before time ran out. My buddy Chris, who is an ex-Marine, and me dove in right away. We didn't see anything. We dove 3 times and kept going deeper, Hedekan told TwinCities.com. Still nothing. No thrashing or disturbances on the surface. No signs of life. Then, they swam farther out past the buoys marking the lake's designated swimming area. A crowd gathered on land called out to the spontaneous rescuers to stop and form a human chain with them for safety, but time was running out. So they persisted. Advertisement. I thought, this kid only has a few minutes to live, Hedekan explained. Deeper into the water they dove, but with minutes having elapsed, me and my group of friends decided to dive in separate directions. Hedekan, operating almost automatically on adrenaline, ultimately dove 25 feet to the bottom of Carver Lake. Looking up from the bottom, he saw the boy floating above him, suspended, motionless, at the top of a clump of seaweed. Nearly out of breath, Hedekan himself, a father of 2 small children pushed off the lake bottom and grabbed the child around his body, pulling him up quickly. As soon as breached the surface, he maneuvered so the boy's back was to his chest and began to paddle, but they were still around 30 feet from shore. He was able to fit with his back on my chest, so I bear hugged him and started back to shore, kicking with my feet and using my arms to keep his head above the water, Hedekan told the outlet. When he got closer to the shore, TwinCities.com reports, exhaustion overcame him and he started to sink from his efforts to keep the boy's head above water. A friend swimming to shore beside him, Sierra Sewell, grabbed the boy from Hedekan and put him on a flotation device. Other bystanders pulled the flotation device toward shore and carried the boy to a grassy area where paramedics were waiting to perform CPR. But, to Hedekan, something was amiss. From shallower water, with the boy now in the hands of first responders, he realized police and EMTs had not even waded into the lake to shave time in hopes of saving the child's life. In fact, the bystander-turned-rescuer says the group of emergency personnel didn't even get their shoes wet. Woodbury Police Department spokesperson, Michelle Okita, balked at the suggestion, duly noting Hedekan's bravery, but explaining that, for police officers to come out in the water to get them wouldn't have saved any time. Almost every single one of those responders, police, fire, EMS, almost every one of them have children, Okita continued, so they appreciate the high emotions that come with those situations, and it does seem like time goes slower in those situations. Indeed, though time might have seemed to stand still for the spontaneous lake rescue squad, the minutes they spent attempting to locate Jordan made each second afterward invaluable in reviving him. Despite bystanders' quick thinking and lack of hesitation, the minutes trapped underwater proved too much for the 5-year-old. Jordan died after being transported to Regions Hospital. "I just want people to pray for the boy's family," the distraught and irate father opined. "I don't think I'm a hero. I just acted on what I felt. I watched people who were trained not do a thing until we brought him to them. The kid had minutes to live. Every minute counted. At least get your knees and boots wet. Make an effort. I get out of the water and all of you are dry. He was just a baby, a 5-year-old. They all just stood and watched." Read more. Video shows 7 cops laugh as a man drowns, so a hero citizen jumped in and saved his life. Hedekan wasn't alone in excoriating so-called first responders for inaction. On Saturday, a number of outraged witnesses took to social media to explain what had happened and condemn, publicly, inaction by personnel well trained to handle such an incident. "Everybody that was here just hopped in, clothes on, didn't matter. We just wanted that little boy to be safe," one woman wrote in now deleted post to social media, as quoted by TwinCities.com. "Everybody except the police and whoever said that the officer coordinated the human chain is wrong. We formed it before the police even got there. They arrived and stood at the shore for several minutes and looked lost, like a deer in headlights, looking to everyday citizens to save this little boy." Another observer wrote starkly, "Today I witnessed several officers and EMTs sit back and do absolutely nothing as a 5-year-old boy was drowning in Carver Lake. They sat at the shores and watched as the rest of us were in that lake looking for him. After 10 minutes of us looking for him, someone finally pulled the child up from the water. An innocent, lifeless little boy who was underwater for over 10 minutes. And not one person with a uniform was in the water." Still, Okita and the Woodbury Police Department insist officers whom she said had only been on the scene for 3 minutes when the child was pulled from the water and EMTs stepping in to help would have instead interfered and worsened the situation. Based on the time frame, the timing from when the first officer arrived, even if he was trained to do water rescue, it wouldn't have been productive for him to jump right in the water. Keeping that time frame in mind for an officer to jump in the water not knowing wouldn't be the best use of that time. What officers were doing as they arrived on scene were gathering information from multiple people on what was going on and deciding where to focus their efforts. She added, by the time they found the body it was less than a minute before CPR was started. As you can imagine, it would seem like forever. While seconds can indeed feel like minutes during a traumatic situation, beachgoers and civilian rescuers find the trained personnel culpable of not performing the full extent of their duties to save the small child. The police department's response, thus, flippant disregard for their concerns. Officials asserted in light of the concerted effort by witnesses nothing more could have been done to save Kendrick Jordan, Jr.'s life. A GoFundMe campaign with a modest goal of just $10,000 has been created to assist with funeral expenses. That a young father of 2 small children and his volleyball buddies, not police officers and emergency medical technicians, jumped into Carver Lake to save a child, no questions asked, left many witnesses to the incident bitter. Where I'm standing, Hedecan maintained, it was wrong.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheep up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Charlotte County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, if I got, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. 47,000 of you so far right now. $1 a day. $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.